Hey Adam, how are you?
Yeah, not bad, thank you. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. So it's evening there, right?
Yes, yeah, just hit 5 o'clock.
I'm way past evening. It's after dinner time here as usual. So we will be talking about split testing, the concept of split testing, and your upcoming split hero. But before we begin with that, why don't you give a quick introduction about what you've been doing in the online world for last maybe 5, 6 years?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Adam Lacey, and I've been probably for the last 7, 8 years. Really, it's not really changed too much. I've been running your typical freelance solo agency. Over the past sort of 12 to 18 months, I've branched out and I actually run a white label agency as well called Unbranded. So I also run that, and in the last sort of 3 months, I've been working on the launch and development of SplitHero.
Cool. So besides Adam Lacey, I know another Lacey who's very popular, Paul Lacey.
Yes.
He's also from UK, right?
Yeah, he's actually a good friend of mine. We meet up regularly.
That's cool. Very intelligent person and very nice person. So let's move to the real thing, split testing. So let's talk about the split testing ecosystem first. So most of the people who would be listening this would be, WordPress users. So for someone who knows WordPress to an extent of just writing a blog post, how would you define the concept of A/B split testing to that kind of audience?
Sure. So the way, if it was just a standard WordPress user, like you say, it probably just writes content and doesn't actually do anything else inside WordPress. I'd probably say the best way to describe it would be uh, testing different layouts to see which one appeals most to your audience.
Mhm.
That's probably the simplest way of describing it to someone in that category.
And someone who is familiar with or who is one level up, like he can play around with page builder, build layouts, but he's still yet to dive into the split testing mode. How would you define to that person in more technical jargon?
Yeah, so I'd probably say it will allow you to test multiple variations so you can convert more leads from your traffic.
Okay, now A/B split testing is still considered as a super premium routine in the web world. I still remember a few years back when responsive feature on websites were introduced. The website responsiveness feature was sold as a premium feature at that time, like for
Yeah.
first 2, 3 years. But now every website is responsive and it's given. Now, can you expect split testing to become more mainstream in coming years, considering a lot of people are selling things these days in the online world?
Yeah, I think with the growing battle for traffic anyway, because everyone's always fighting for more users and more traffic, the next step up from that is split testing to allow people to make the most of that traffic. They can increase their conversion rate on that traffic, then they're not putting any extra work in to get the traffic, but they're getting better results. I don't know if it'll ever get to perhaps where it's a given on every project, but I would like to see it get used more often. And I think a lot of people shy away from it out of either fear of costs or complexity. But that's what we're trying to get people to. Everyone knows they should be doing it, and not
Yeah.
really many people are. So that's what we're trying to tackle.
Yeah, more than cost, I think it's the complexity and the first hurdle, like how do I get into it? Like do it at a basic level. That's the biggest problem for majority of people, and that includes me also. So even I am a newbie in terms of split testing. So let's talk about uh, split testing from a very basic level. Like for example, I have a landing page with a free ebook download offer as a
Yeah.
lead magnet, which has the email capture box. Like that's the standard setup for majority of people.
Mhm.
What is the split testing use case in this scenario?
So if you had your page designed one way, so say you create your page with your upsell and everything like that, say, and your lead magnet and your opt-in box,
Mm-hmm.
you could then create a different page with the same offering, but you could potentially structure the design different, or you could change the type of language used in the copy. And that'd probably be your basic starting point, and then that way you'd test both of those variations and see which one leads to more signups.
Okay. And let's go one level up. Consider a landing page selling a premium product like a course of, say, hundreds of dollars. Now, my landing page is ready for selling course. How do I go about creating a split version of it in order to set up the, test routine?
Yeah, so a big one for that again is the most popular ones across the board really tends to be testing copy, so testing your content, testing UX and UI layouts, and then really other than that there can be subtle changes as well, such as some people test video versus images and vice versa. So some people might have your static typical hero image, some might split test that versus a video and see if that creates more engagement.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Now, a lot of people have this perception that split testing is all about, changes in the content. Like you change the image with a video, or you use a different image. But even using a different layout, like a super fancy design vis-a-vis like an ugly looking landing page, like do split testing also figure in these kind of scenarios?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, like you could totally, like say, you could do a really complex design versus a real simplistic, minimalistic design, and you could see which one works better for your audience, because everyone's audience is slightly different and likes different things, and that's why split testing is so important, really, because over time, especially like say, if you've been doing this for a long time, like I have, you have a good idea of what people like and what's good for the users, etc. But we never really truly know until we put it out there. And split testing allows us to really say with confidence, this is what our users like. And then over that, you can just build on it over time and keep running different tests and different variations, and until you really hone in on what your users like. And obviously, overall, that will lead to more conversions.
But over the surface, like, is there any methodology that you follow, like how two pages should be different, like those landing pages should be different to achieve the results you're trying to achieve via split testing?
Sure. So for me, I'm always a fan of different call to actions. I always like testing different call to actions. It's quite popular in different headings.
Okay.
And I also like to change generally like the user flow of a page as well. So I'll change the UX and the layout, and that's what I like to test personally.
Okay. So this is all about the basics of split testing. Let's switch to split testing on WordPress platform. So I have a WordPress website, and I just created a sales page, say, selling my website development services. Now, from point of view of a beginner, like there's so many people who run one-man agency and who sell these website development services. What should be my next important step to get split testing set up and running on such kind of a scenario? Because here money is the real thing, because once someone subscribed to my service, I'm getting paid, right? So I am ready to invest also in split testing if it works for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're using it for yourself, like I say, if you're promoting your website development services, you'd design your core page, and then you would have a look to see how you could change it up and make it different. Like say you could toy with different call to actions and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, you'd put that into the platform of your choice, hopefully SplitHero. And then, like I say, yeah, we'd compare and see which ones performs best for you, and gives you the conversion you're looking for.
And how does one make sense of split testing routines results? Like, is it like digging into Google Analytics number, which is quite frustrating, and people do end up closing Google Analytics?
Yeah, exactly. We've tried to. There's different services out there, and some are far more complex than ours in terms of what they measure and data they collect, etc. Which is, but they're also targeted to enterprise clients. So obviously, for those clients, it makes sense. I mean, for our platform particularly, we give you the necessary data, but in an easy to use way. So our whole premise is being user friendly. So we are not there to confuse you, make it difficult. We're there to make it easy, just give you the information you need and not overwhelm you. And that's kind of our goal.
And as of now, like, which are the most common tools and services used by WordPress users for split testing setup and measuring results besides the upcoming SplitHero?
So the most common one tends to be Google Experiments is quite popular because it's free.
Mhm.
The flip side of that is extremely complex to set up, and unless you really know what you're doing on a tech level, and even if you do, it's quite time consuming. But that does tend to be quite popular. I think there's a couple of other plugin solutions as well that dive into more being obviously WordPress specific, and offer more sort of granular control perhaps. But there's obviously downsides to the plugin model as well, having to keep up to date with, or from a tech point of view, obviously WordPress as a core and Gutenberg and all the other bits and pieces. It makes it a lot more trickier, where we can collect more data and we can put the features that users want into our platform really without being restricted.
So, what all problems did you notice in these existing solution that prompted you to, develop your own solution?
Yeah, so I still find I struggle to find, there's not many plugins that do a very good job of creating a nice user interface for people in
Mhm.
WordPress, just because the way WordPress is.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of them are not as user friendly as they could be, and like they don't necessarily have as many features as we'd like to include in the future. So, we're looking to roll out like PDF reporting, white labeling, all that stuff in the future, which we could do in WordPress, but it's not as sustainable as being able to do it as a SaaS platform.
Mhm. Now, let's focus on the split testing issues. Now, one big problem that I've noticed, like people set up a split testing routine on a page that is not getting substantial traffic, say almost like 100 visits in a span of 2-3 weeks. Now, do
Yeah.
you recommend any minimum incoming traffic before split testing should be set up, and results can be gathered, which would make more sense?
Yeah, there is. It's really hard to say a definitive minimum, but like you say, for someone that's probably getting maybe like you say 100 hits a month, it's probably not going to be viable for
Yeah.
them, because there's a statistical difference in humans. Because we're all unique in what we like anyway, and it wouldn't be a big enough sample size to really get any valuable data out of it. I like to think as soon as you're getting sort of towards the high hundreds to the low thousands per month, that's kind of where you want to be. I've heard like from the big companies suggest sort of 10,000 hits and above a month, which seems pretty high to me. But yeah, I mean, I think if you're in the high hundreds, then I think it's definitely started worth exploring.
Now, we are WordPress people and we are very touchy about SEO, right? So
Yes.
split testing is basically, splitting your incoming traffic towards two pages with similar content, if not the same content, to
Yes.
see which gets more conversions and, adds to our piggy bank. Now,
Yeah.
you have two pages with similar content. Now, does Google hate this, or are there any safeguard in this regard?
Yes, they definitely don't like duplicate content. So what we normally suggest to do is, and it will be part of the documentation we provide, is basically to, whether you use SEO Press or Yoast or, your plugin of choice, would be to leave your core. So basically page A variation, if you just leave that as is,
Mm-hmm.
and any other variations would basically tell you to no index them. And there's a conical bit you can add to say that the page A is the main one. So we'd suggest setting that up basically to make sure. I mean, it's only if you're really running it for a very long time, which some people do. But I think it's important to do that anyway, just to definitely make sure you're on the right side of Google.
So canonical URL, that's the only thing one needs to be careful about, right?
Yeah, if you put that in, and like I say, if you no index the page as well, then you've got no issues really.
So keep one page indexed and the other page as no index.
Exactly, yeah. So if you had A, B, C, D, you'd leave A as normal and then no index B, C, D.
And add canonical URL for B,
Yes.
C, D to A. Like the
Yeah,
URL
that's
of A
correct.
should be in the B, C, D. That's about it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's super straightforward.
Wow, that's simple. Okay, now should someone selling an evergreen course or digital product keep the split testing routine enabled all the time, or do you have any do's and don'ts in this regard, like someone running a split testing routine for a very long period of time?
Yeah, I mean, I like to think like whatever. It depends on your exact goals and what you're looking to get out, and it very much depends on the amount of traffic you get as well. But I'd suggest a good period of time to run for, depending on your traffic, is probably going up to sort of like 6 to 8 weeks, perhaps into the 3-month mark. That's a good time period. Some people extend that to 6 months, but 2 to 3 months feels right to me, and it's a good time to be able to end it, collect that data, decide, and then start another experiment up with the best variation you had there and some other options, and then do the whole thing again. So I think 3-month segments works very well.
Okay. And split testing, not just for a person who is in DIY mode, like I'll do for my website. Now, this can be very important service for an agency owner as well to offer to its clients. And so how does one convey the value proposition of split testing service to the end user client?
Yeah, sure. So it's really good. So, I mean, there seems to be a growing trend at the moment with a lot of people doing landing pages for clients. A lot of clients are opting less and less for really big sites and more with really focused sales processes of landing pages, funnels, and obviously ads that go with that. So this is a really good value add, because if you've already sold them on the concept of landing pages, funnels, or even just a standard website, as soon as they start paying or even working towards getting traffic to that site, they've got to be interested in getting the most of that traffic. And that's really the upsell. Split testing is going to allow them to find squeeze every little bit they can out of traffic in terms of dollars and cents.
Mm-hmm. So are you seeing this trend? Like a lot of people are offering it, or is it still like nascent stages?
In terms of offering it as an ad, it's certainly not a trend I've noticed as of yet.
Yeah.
And the reason being is I still think a lot of people are still shying away from just doing split testing at all. So until, what we're hoping to do is we're hoping to get people familiar with it and show them how easy it is to do, and then we can offer them a course or some training to say this is how you can upsell it to clients as well. Because once they're comfortable doing it with their own website and whatnot, then they'll do it for clients, and they'll be able to obviously make money out of that service as well.
Yeah, becoming mainstream, because education is key in this regard, because the first introduction to split testing can be a little scary.
Yes, yeah.
And to be honest, there are not many resources, at least not any of its resources that thrown at people, hey, this is split testing. But split testing itself, the word, it's like scary enough to, okay, no man, I'm not interested in this.
Yeah, exactly. And for a long time I shied away from it for myself, and I just decided, I mean, the whole idea of SplitHero was there must be an easier way to make this happen. So I'm hoping people see my vision.
So in your agency career, till the time you've been running your agency, have you used split testing on various client projects on a regular basis?
I haven't used it on. I have another business outside of the digital agency, which I've used it on personally, and I've used it in my agency myself.
Mm-hmm.
But like I say, thus far we've normally used Google Experiments, which it just doesn't quite cut it. It's, I mean, like I say, it's a bit like analytics. You get a lot of data, and you have to really work through it, and it takes long. It's a lot of admin time to set up, and you end up resenting having to do it. So then you don't do it. So we're making sure it's easy for people to get up and running.
So SplitHero is the outcome of the frustration of Google experiments, right?
Pretty much, yeah. And also Clickfunnels and things like that as well, because funnels have got, like I said, funnels have got massively important over the last sort of 12 to 18 months, if not 2 years.
Yeah.
And a lot of people buy into ClickFunnels. I mean, I personally hate the way ClickFunnel pages look. So this allows people to collect the data, do the marketing, and split test their funnels without being tied to a builder, because there are other split test products out there and they still tie you to their own page builder, which we don't want to do. We want to let you use Beaver Builder, Elementor, whatever you're happy using. You can still use SplitHero.
Yeah, because ClickFunnels, they have marketed themselves, or they positioned themselves in a such a manner. Like I was talking to Mike Killen, few episodes back on the show, and for someone, an average user who wants, like, who've heard about funnels but don't know much about it, and say, I need funnels. Oh, I need to sign up for ClickFunnels. That's about it. But the concept is same. It's just the ClickFunnels funnel word is there, so I need to sign up for that. So that's also a kind of miss information, or you need to give credit to them for setting up
Their
that.
marketing has been, yeah, they've certainly done a lot of marketing, and the affiliate, I think, is strong.
Yeah, setting up that aura of you need funnels, that's the only thing.
Yeah, it's not cheap either. I think it's, well, I
No.
mean, it depends how much you use it, but in my opinion, I don't think it's value for money anyway.
Okay, now let's talk about SplitHero. Now, you've been a WordPress person for quite some time, right? So
Yeah,
why not a WordPress plugin, and why a SaaS solution?
sure. So we did my initial idea because I've had the idea for about 2 years, and initially we did toy with the idea of doing it as a plugin, and we did start development of it as a plugin, although very lightly. And basically, what happened is I was going to tie it very tightly to Beaver Builder. So the idea was it was basically going to be a Beaver Builder split testing plugin, because that's what we use in the agency. And I was like, that's what we could do, and it would work well. And then, as I was mind mapping and brainstorming and working out the details, a company called SeedProd basically released it.
Yeah,
Released
I
my
know
idea,
that.
actually. Yeah. So I was like, okay.
But
Well,
sorry to interrupt you, but I think that plugin vanished
it has. Yeah, it has. It since has vanished.
because SeedProd got acquired by WP Beginner, and I think they yanked off things that they don't think it's the focus area for that company.
Yeah, exactly. So I found out about 6 months about that. But yeah, so they're not doing it anymore. And I also found out that it basically was, it kind of still tied into Google experiments. So you had to do a lot of setting up and stuff like that. Whereas, like I say, we don't have to do any of that with SplitHero. But yeah, so that was kind of the initial idea. So that kind of sort of put us on the back foot. We was like, and we reassessed it, and then we could do it as a general plugin. And I have used a plugin, and it's called I can't think what it's called, but there's one half decent WordPress plugin I know of, and that just still didn't really feel like a good solution to me. The problem I have with WordPress plugins is I find it really hard to support from a business point of view. I mean, I know
Yeah.
obviously some companies do fantastically well, Gravity Forms, etc., do fantastically well as a business. However, just for little old me and the developer I have, I think the support burden would be too high, to be
Yep.
totally frank.
Yeah, that's true. Like, and a lot of WordPress people are using SaaS-based services, and they work fine because it's SaaS, right? It works for every platform. Now,
Yeah.
let's talk about more about the backstory behind the SplitHero. Your frustration with Google experiments. What else? Like, do you actually wanted to create a product and diversify from client services and get on with some different part of working online?
Yeah, so I'm always interested in things that potentially have a chance to make a difference to people in the future. So yeah, if something has a chance of making someone's life easier or doing something better, I've always got an interest in that. So for me, it went from obviously the frustration level to, okay, well, this could be a product in its own right, and like I say, we could go down the SaaS route, which we've ultimately done. But it's scary, it's not being, I guess, a SaaS owner, which is still weird to say. Um, it's a funny old route to go down, and it certainly takes some getting used to, like, and people have expectations, and and obviously every bit of information you put out there, you have to make sure it's right. Yeah, so it's been a really good journey, though. I really enjoyed it, and like I say, we're starting to get towards pre-sale launch time, so yeah, it's starting to all come to a bit of a head at the moment. So it is a really exciting time, though, and yeah, so we've gone from sort of frustration, a lot of build-up, and a lot of self-doubt, and we finally got to the point where I'm really excited to get it in people's hands.
Okay, now I've asked you a lot of questions from a point of view of a person who doesn't know much about split testing. Now, for example, a person knows about split testing and he's been using something for split testing.
Mhm.
How would you sell your service to that person by explaining what are the benefits of using SplitHero for split testing vis-a-vis his or her existing solution?
Yeah. So it depends what their existing solution is, but generally speaking, I'd probably say it'll be more user friendly and it will be more affordable. They're the two key points.
Okay, and which platforms will it work like?
So technically, it will work across any page builder, any CMS. Because we're literally just working with URLs, there is no limits really.
And just like other SaaS services, the installation routine, I guess it's the normal. You get the piece of code and you put it in your header part of your theme.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's literally a little snippet of JS, and you just drop that in, and you're good to go.
And is this your first SaaS product?
It is. Yeah. Yes, it is.
And now my next question is basically like there are a lot of people who are in WordPress. You know, everyone love WordPress and everyone hates WordPress. Just like you love WordPress plugins, yet you didn't make WordPress plugins. So
Yeah, exactly.
the love-hate relationship is a big thing in WordPress, and guess Gutenberg has just added that fire, that fuel in the fire. So for someone who is accustomed to code, accustomed to building WordPress plugin, and he wants to build or convert that plugin into a SaaS solution, what technology stack, what path, what routines did you follow that would work for him?
Sure. So, I mean, really, to be honest, this is probably a question that's better placed to my developer than me. um, but yeah, it really depends on, I guess, what the particular plugin does. And like, say, some things are really well suited to being plugins, and I didn't see this as one of them. But I mean, like I say, if it certainly was one of them things I thought would be best as a plugin, it would have been a plugin. But yeah, for us, we're on a Laravel stack. We're
Mhm.
you building on. So yeah, we're building on Laravel. And anything more than that, I'd have to ask him, to be honest.
And you've been building this solution for how many years it's been in development, like you've been tweaking and now it's ready to launch?
Yeah, so it's been in purely in terms of brainstorming mode. It's been like 2 years, but in terms of actual development, in terms of getting code down on paper, so to speak, that's been going on since just before the end of last year. So probably November, December time is when we started actually putting it together, and that's obviously been self-funded so far. So yeah, we're fully bootstrapped as well, and then the pre-sale is basically going to help push it over the line and get it out there.
And what is your team like? Your developer is your partner, or he's working for you under your company?
Yeah, so at the minute he's just working for me on the company. However, he is keen to join the company. We're just not sure what shape that will take at the moment. But yeah, there's probably a high chance that he will join the company at some point, or vice versa, he'll be taken on as an employee or of some sort.
For someone who wants to build a SaaS solution like SplitHero or similar, magnitude, what kind of initial investment, the range he or she would be looking at?
Yeah, sure. So it's really hard to say. My initial estimates for SplitHero was higher than it turned out to be, but I think it depends on your options of where you develop as well. Obviously, like say if you develop in India versus the UK or the US or
Yeah.
Europe, your cost of living is significantly different. Ours is fully made in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's really hard to say, but I think if you was in the sort of 10 to 20,000 range of dollars to get an MVP product out there, you're not going to be far off.
And are you going to use split testing to sell SplitHero?
We certainly will be. Yes, that's the plan.
And no prizes for guessing what you're going to use for that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Funny enough, we don't have to pay for it either.
Okay, so one last thing regarding SplitHero. Someone who is listening and interested in your service, what would be your final sales pitch to convince that person to, get onto your platform?
Yeah, so I'd say, look, if you're interested in either converting more leads from the traffic you're getting, or if you're looking to upsell to clients and show them how you can generate more leads from their landing pages, come give us a go. We've got a pre-sale lined up. You can sign up on the website currently to be notified when that goes live. But basically, we're going to be doing a founding members club of a lifetime deal. So the founding members club's got to include things like you'll have direct access to me in a private Slack channel. I might be giving away some swag, a bit like what I'm wearing, but I'm not sure yet. I've got to work that out. But the main thing is you'll get a lifetime deal. We're not sure the exact account limits, but they'll be pretty high. And you'll be looking at an investment of $397.
And I bet a lot of people who run agencies and serve multiple clients would be interested in your service. Like, do you have any separate package for those kind of agencies, or it's like the standard plans for everyone?
Yeah, so the founding members club is going to be that the lifetime deal will be just that exact plan. But when we go to general public sale, we have got the way we're doing things is actually going to be quite different to a lot of people. So we're going to have a standard core plan, which is going to be $27 a month, and that will include one domain name and one experiment. So you can run one experiment at once on one domain name, and that's the account limit. And then basically what you do, rather than having plans that say, you pay this much and you get 5 domains and this much for 10 domains, all it is totally flexible to what you need. So you can add an extra domain on, you can add an extra 10 domains on, you can add you could keep it on 2 domains, but you might want to add an extra 10 experiments, and you could do that. And basically each domain and each experiment will just have a set price per month. So for example, these figures are still got to be tweaked slightly, but for example, if you wanted to add an extra domain, it would cost you an extra $5 a month. But you could upgrade and downgrade that as and when you need it for clients as well. So that's kind of the idea. Is an agency might have 10 clients one month, might go down to 8, and then they can upsell it to more. But that way we're not tying them to an exact plan. They can literally see the value in what they're paying for because that's all they're using.
And this would be like per domain thing, but for, the initial offering of your founding member, that would be for unlimited domains, or you're going to have some cap there?
There'll be a cap, yeah. I think, I'm not sure the exact number, but it'll either be 10 or 20, but we just haven't quite decided yet.
Yeah, because unlimited is difficult to sustain.
Yes, yeah. So it'll be 10 or 20 and probably equal amount of experiments as well. So, yeah.
Okay, cool. Best of luck for this service. And now let's move to my favorite part of this show, your toolbox. So which are your current 5 favorite tools that power your online business?
Yeah, so Beaver Builder is one of my favorites. Page Builder Framework as a theme.
Yeah, amazing theme.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that theme. And David, the developer behind it, that's actually
David Von Grace.
Yeah, lovely guy. What else? Got ACF. That's always a key part to everything we do. Beaver Thema, I guess it kind of ties into Beaver Builder. And Gravity Forms is probably a key stack.
You forgot SplitHero.
Oh yeah, of course. Yes, SplitHero.
Okay, and which is a recommended web hosting service? I guess you still do, client sites and all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I recommend is Kinsta to most clients. They're one of the premium ones, but they're also one of the ones to never let really anyone down. So, which is unusual.
And from clients, it reminds me, like, now you are getting into services thing with SplitHero. So your client workload will go down and you will move up this way and you will eventually stop client work. Is that the plan?
Yeah, it really depends. At the minute, like, I'm going to split my time fairly 50-50. And then with my white label agency, because I've got a team behind me for that, it's quite easy for me to still sort of just oversee projects and take client working, but just give it to my team to do. So I can focus more of my time directly in SplitHero. So certainly, if SplitHero takes off as well as I hope it should, then yeah, that will be the plan to slowly over the next 12 to 18 months sort of move more in that direction.
Cool. Now, my next question, you already answered it, but I'll still ask you. Maybe you have a surprise up for me, which is your recommended page builder plugin.
Yeah, Beaver Builder every day.
Same here. Okay, so what do you use for email marketing?
Yeah, sure. So obviously this is something I'm fairly new to because I've been absolutely terrible. I'll put my hand up. So I'm absolutely terrible at email marketing. It's never something I've really done. And I've been trying a few products recently, but at the moment we're sort of signed up for SplitHero anyway. We're signed up and we're using Drip at the moment. And I quite like it. I tried ActiveCampaign and stuff and it gave me a bit of a headache, but I'm told it's better. So I might go back and try it out. But for now, we're using Drip.
ActiveCampaign is very powerful, but the thing is the UI, the way it works, it's kind of old school,
Yeah.
but it's very powerful. And Drip is modern, more fancy, and compared to ActiveCampaign.
Yeah.
You didn't try ConvertKit?
No, I didn't. I tried a couple. I don't think I tried ConvertKit, but I was a little bit, as much as I am with Drip, I was a little bit annoyed with them because they've just dropped their free plan. Because like we fit squarely in their free plan, and then all of a sudden they were like, "Oh, you got to pay," and we're like, "Oh, okay." So that was a bit of a shock. It sort of come out of nowhere, but you know, it's kind of I'm a sucker for a nice looking UI, so that's kind of what got me.
Yeah, ConvertKit and Drip, they sort of are cousins. They have similar feature set. They almost look wise they're different, but similar feature set. Whereas ActiveCampaign is like one level up on these services in
Okay.
terms of automation and all that, because I was told this by automation expert Mike Killen. He is amazing.
Yeah.
So I take his word because even I'm new to all these things. I do email marketing, but guess what? I still use my favorite chimp, monkey, MailChimp. That works for me.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so any upcoming tool or services that has caught your attention?
To be honest, I've been out of the loop a little bit with everything going on. I just haven't had time. I'm also moving house as well, so I've just had everything going on at the moment. So I haven't really kept an eye out for too much. So yeah, nothing's really caught my eye at the moment.
Cool. You should have said SplitHero. Okay, let's
Well,
pivot.
hopefully you can try it out.
Yeah, sure. Now let's pivot back to SplitHero. Now, do you have any, roadmap for it? Like how you're going to proceed? Like once your, initial offering is over by February end, I guess?
Yeah, so basically we're going to have a working front end demo, hopefully the week of 28th of January.
Mm-hmm.
So basically just before the pre-sale, hopefully people will be able to, it won't have the technical functionality behind it, but people will be able to click around, see how it looks, see how it feels, and what's included essentially. And then on the 1st of February, which is the Friday, we'll launch the pre-sale. Like I say, we've got 25 licenses for that, and hopefully they sell out pretty quickly. And if they do, that will fund the final stages of the development. And then from there, we'll work to have, we've said tentatively March, April time to have an alpha beta version out for the general public. It really depends on user feedback from our founding members, because they're going to be key to tell us what they want to see and how we should move forward. We have some good ideas internally of how to move forward. Like I say, I mentioned earlier, PDF reporting is a big one I would like to do, and I've got a few other bits and pieces that I've got hidden up my sleeve. So that's really where we want to go with it, and probably user accounts as well, so team members, and you can have your whole team in SplitHero. So there's a few bits like that we want to do as a phase 2, but the main thing is going to be running up to the 1st of February, launching the pre-sale, and then using that to fund us through to the launch.
And I think lot of your user base might come from people who sell courses. So is your service, does this integrate or work well on, hosted solutions like Teachable, Thinkific, Kajabi? Like, have you gone through some testing on those platforms?
Honestly, we haven't got test stage yet, but that's a really good point. And in theory, there's no reason they shouldn't work. But that is certainly something, and that's the kind of user feedback we were looking to get based on what kind of users buy the pre-sale will really shape what direction we start going. And like I say, even when it goes on general public sale, the more users we get and the more feature requests that get voted up, the more we can implement, the more people actually want.
Yeah, because I use few SaaS products like ConvertBox. It works fine on Teachable, though initially there was certain, things, lack of information, I would say, because, you need to configure hooks and stuff to get things working. That's more of a pop-up box solution and all that. I guess your would be more embedded code within the page, but still, because every hosted platform has their own language, own way of doing things. So kind of.
Yeah.
And I guess these three are the most popular as of now: Kajabi, Teachable, and Thinkific.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it really depends on how open they are, generally speaking. Like you say, really how much work's involved to the users, that unfortunately just with the if we have one feature, for example, like another feature we want to add is Zapier integration,
Yeah.
the chances are something like that is going to get built before something like that, like
Yeah.
Teachable, because we have to work out what the most users are going to want versus if there's only a couple of users want like Teachable integration, and it's going to obviously take so many development hours. Obviously, it's not viable for the business, but we're always going to try and listen and do what we can.
Does SplitHero integrates well with Zapier, because Zapier works with all these platforms?
Yeah, that's what we're looking at for a phase 2, potentially a phase 3. But yeah, that's a big one. I'm really key to explore because that's going to open it up for a lot of people into automation and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because Zapier works with almost any hosted, like
Yeah.
popular hosted platform. And besides courses, I think the other important, application I see for SplitHero is on the hosted cart solutions like Thrivecart, Samcart.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that in works as well?
Yeah, that is certainly something, again, probably phase 2 or phase 3. Like I say, we're really keen to get an MVP into the hands of the public and let them start playing with it, enjoying it, and then telling us what they want.
Okay, cool. So before we wrap this episode up, any last word for SplitHero? By the way, where did that inspiration for the SplitHero word come from?
Yeah, sure. So it's actually a name I've grown to love. I wasn't too sure of it at the start, but I've actually really come to enjoy it, and
It's
I
amazing.
like the name. Yeah, and people laugh when I tell them. One of the key factors was I was able to buy all the domain names. I got I got the .com, the .co.uk, and the
Seriously.
.io.
And,
Yeah.
and they were free, like free as in they were not premium domain.
No, exactly. Yeah, they're just off the rack. So .com.io and .co.uk
I guess no
is
one wanted to split a hero, right?
no, clearly, yeah, exactly. So, but it works perfect for my purpose, and so
But
yeah,
it's really good name. It has a recall value. Like the first time you mentioned SplitHero, it stuck with my head. Like it's not something that you will forget easily. And those two words are very simple. Like they are not too difficult to write or even pronounce.
yeah, exactly. So I was hoping to, like I say, something memorable, something easy, something short as well. I didn't want to go for anything too long. Um, so yeah, it's splithero.com is the website, nice and simple. People can go on, check out the features of what we're going to have coming up, and they can sign up to be notified of any more podcasts I do, and also of the news of when things get released.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
No, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Have a good day.
You too. Take care. Bye.